Day 2 is complete here at the NCSA Junior Nationals in Orlando, Florida. And Tiffany, we saw some really fast swims from some of the top junior national swimmers that we're going to see contending for Olympic spots at the Olympic trials. And I think a lot of people in the crowd here watching didn't really expect to see people like Jack Conger bust out a 158 in 200 fly or 200 back. Didn't expect to see any of the fast swims. All these Olympic trial cuts that were made today, just phenomenal nights.
Well, the great thing about this meet is that they swim short course in the morning, come back for long course tonight. We saw, and 4 heats at that, come back for the finals. And the great thing about tonight was that we saw swimmers in the D final qualifying for Olympic trials. We saw swimmers in the B final swim faster than the A final, so a few upsets in that respect. But we saw so many Olympic trial cuts throughout the night, and it was not only the A final that was coming back strong, but it was all 32 swimmers.
Yeah, and I think a lot of these kids were really excited about the chance to get that second swim. Like you saw in the D final, we had a girl make Olympic trials in 200 fly. I think she was really excited about that chance. She knew that this was probably one of the best opportunities she has the rest of this year to make that Olympic trials cut. And she really went after it and was just really excited to see it. And the crowd really recognized that was something that was really special.
Like you just mentioned, I think the event of the night on both the men's and the women's side was the 200 backstroke. We knew Jack was going to be close to that 2-minute mark, but I don't think we expected him to be a 158. We had a chance to talk with Jack after that to see what he's got to work on to better his 200.
Yeah, he said his underwaters aren't very good, and other than his start, where, as I said in the live stream, he went 14.999 meters. I mean, just one more kick and he would have been over. And I think that was a phenomenal start, but as the race went on, you could tell he was kicking less on each wall, and that is something he's going to have to work on, because people like Ryan Lochte and Tyler Clary and everybody else who's going to potentially race in the final that turn back in Omaha, they're going to be kicking out to almost 15 meters on that last wall, and they're going to come up and not be gasping for air. Their lungs aren't going to be on fire because they're working at this. He said he knows he needs to work on that. He's going to go back to Rockwell Montgomery. He and his coach Sue Chen are really going to press that hard and really make sure that Jack is being able to be competitive with those other swimmers that last 50 in the tournament.
Now he's going to be one to watch at Olympic trials, like you mentioned earlier, maybe sit around that 4th, 5th position, just because there's so many outstanding U.S. backstrokers. But on the female side, Rachel Bootsma, who's also going to be right in that area, she's going to be fun to watch in Rio as well. And we didn't get to see her in the 200 backstroke tonight, but she had a pretty tough double, 100 freestyle. She came away with the win and also came back for that 200 butterfly, which she surprisingly was outtouched by Emma Nunn. Surprising to me, I thought she was going to come away with that double victory. But she's got a bright future ahead for her as well.
Yeah, Rachel Bootsma has kind of become the queen of this meet. Everybody just privately reveres her. I think everybody just kind of quietly lets her go about her way. But I've heard people on deck just really admiring how she has grown as a swimmer, because a lot of these kids have been here since they were 15, and she's now 18, and she has really blossomed as a swimmer. Last year, going 50.7 in that 100-yard backstroke in this meet. Who knows what she can do this year? If she goes under a minute in that 100 back on Friday, right now I'm saying I'm not surprised, because she's been able to throw down some really fantastic times with this meet, and this is probably her last opportunity to put in a pretty good rest before hunkering down and getting some real training in, because trials is 3 months away.
Well, she led off the relay on night number 1 with a 23.76, I believe. So she's setting herself up for a solid 100 backstroke. I wish we could have seen her in the 200 backstroke tonight. We're not sure of the reasoning why she always decides to do that 200 butterfly. She did the 200 butterfly last year as well, so maybe just resting up for that 100.
Yeah, maybe so, and maybe she knows how much the 200 backstroke hurts, and 200 fly hurts too. So I don't know. Maybe the 200 back hurts more than the 200 fly to hurt. So maybe she just wants to avoid some degree of pain.
Well, Emma Nunn with a great 200 butterfly. A little bit of an unorthodox stroke, and by a little bit, I mean a lot. I asked her about that on the award stand afterwards, and she said that was actually the improvement of her stroke. So it sounds like she's working on it, but probably not making any major adjustments. And I'd say she doesn't need to. It's working on her 212.0.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. A lot of people will be saying that's a broken stroke, and every coach on this deck was probably saying, if I had her, we would fix that right away. But kudos to her coach for not fixing it. If Emma likes it, then she should go for it. I mean, there have been a lot of unorthodox swimming in history. I mean, Janet Evans, nobody thought straight on freestyle was going to be good for her, but look what she did. And now, sprinters and a few distance swimmers are using spearhead freestyle. So it's not to say that Emma Nunn swims incorrectly. Maybe we're all swimming incorrectly. Maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe we need to also like Emma Nunn and we'll swim as fast as she does.
Well, I'll just rather not swim that two fly.
Me too.
But we've got an exciting 3 more days to come. Taking a look at tomorrow, we're going to see some more 50 strokes, the 50 butterfly, 50 breaststroke, I believe, the 200 freestyle, and that 400 IM. I think that's going to be a very interesting swim to see how these swimmers go from short course in the morning to long course at night.
Yeah, it's interesting because, you obviously, 400 IM, it's a hard thing to swim twice in one day. You've got to swim fast enough to swim it, to make it into finals, but you can't overexert yourself. And then you got to really think about, I've got to do long course at night too. So that's the even worse thing because long course 400 IM is tough. You got that 100 fly, and then you got to go into a long course 100 back, a long course 100 breast, a long course 100 free. That can be really taxing on these people who really rely on those turns in the 400 IM. But we've had some great racers out here, and there are a lot of kids out here who really rely on that long course swimming. So we might see somebody busting out something really important.
Well, getting to speak with just a few of the swimmers, I'm surprised at how many have actually done quite a bit of long course training prior to the speed, which we can't expect being an Olympic year, but a lot of these swimmers don't even have the capability of swimming long course. So they're at a major disadvantage when the finals are long course. You might have seen a few of those swimmers tonight, especially that 200 fly that just weren't quite making it once they got past the 125 mark. But nonetheless, a great swim.
Yeah, I have to kind of, I want to give performance of the day, not only to Jack Conover, but to Cyrus Hashemi in that deep final of the 200 fly. We saw him go out in 58.6 and we were wondering if he could hang on, and he went vertical that last 50, but still, his hands got out of the water. That's all you need to do.
It was legal.
It was legal, but kudos to you, Cyrus, for a really tough double for yourself, 100 free, 200 fly, and taking it out like a rabbit, and really just, that's what you need to do sometimes, and I think maybe he paid the price, and his coach probably, wasn't really happy with it, but for us viewers, it was, I don't want to say entertaining, but interesting to watch.
It was entertaining. All right, well, keep in mind as well that those relays are only swim and prelims. Tomorrow's going to be the 4x100 freestyle, so it's definitely interesting to see what some of those kids are going to post in the morning.
Yeah, especially the new Trier swim team in the men's 400 freestyle relay. This is the same foursome, I believe, that set the national high school record a month ago in Illinois High School State Meet, 259.7, I believe. Now, they can't break that national high school record here because it's not a sanctioned high school meet, but that doesn't mean they can't go for it and see if they can break through the So we won't be able to bring that to you live, but just catch our recaps on swimmingworld.com and we'll definitely let you know how fast they swim, because I'm sure it'll be something special.
Well, 2 days down, 3 more to go. A lot of exciting events to look forward to, Jeff.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. That 200 free, Katie Ledecky is going to put up something really special too, and I think this girl, the sky's the limit.
She was one of my swimmers tonight as well. Yesterday, she set that 15:40 record.
Yeah, national age group
record in a mile. And tonight, she came back to show that she's not intimidated by these sprinters. 100 freestyle, right behind Rachel Bootsma. She got that 3rd place position. I think she was either 56 high, 57 low. For a mile swimmer, not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all. I think this sets up well for her 200.
All right.
All right, so that's going to do it for us on day 2 of the NCSA Junior Nationals. Again, if you missed any of our live stream, you can still watch it. Go to swimmingworld.com to get information on how to get it for $24.95. Until then, we'll see you next time.